Good evening. Today I'm going to be doing a review of the Leatherman Super Tool 300 for your enjoyment and assessment. The Leatherman Super Tool 300 is a heavy duty class of multi-tool according to Leatherman, and definitely a full-sized MT compared to other reviewers on the internet. It's quite heavy. It weighs almost 10 ounces in the old way, which is about 260 grams, 280 grams in the metric system. I paid $82 for it, which is great in Australia, especially compared to retail. I said this in my skeletal review, and I'll say it again here. Unfortunately, you shouldn't buy Leathermans at local stores because they go with the retail recommended price, which, a bit like how we pay more for our iTunes songs, we pay about 3 times as much for Leathermans if we choose to buy them in a store. $310 in my local camping store for this exact tool that I paid $80 for. So that's actually above retail recommended price. At any rate, its purpose is to be a around the house, around the yard, around the workplace, heavy duty multi-tool. All the functions on it are full grown. The plier head rivals dedicated plier heads, and the knife blades and things are all large, so you could use it for pretty much as a main tool for a fair few functions. The tools on it, starting with what's in front of me, is the pliers. So you've got the 154 cm replaceable cutters, soft and hard wire. They work great. I've been cutting wire with it all day to fence my put a lower line of chicken wire along my dog fence because I have a husky who likes to eat my chickens, so I've had to do a fair bit of this and a fair bit of this sort of thing to keep that from happening, and it's been really holding up really well. I haven't used the plier or much of the needle nose function for what they're really for, which is pinching things and twisting nuts, although I pinched a fair few bits of wire, I suppose. At any rate, great plier head, really heavy, probably the best plier head you can get on a multi-tool, I would say. Nice and solid, and a lot of weight behind it. You've got a long length of handle, so you can get a lot of force going if you go on the end. Will not let you down, guarantee you. Moving on. The body of the tool has a ruler on it, but you'll notice there is no other tools on the outside at all, which I think is a really good look, and I'm not bothered by that. If it's for more methodical around the house use, you're not going to be rushing to quickly use your one-handed opening knife, I don't think anyway. You'll be knowing what you're doing when you get this tool out of its sheath, and you'll be happy to spend the extra 5 seconds to get it out. But you've got your ruler if you're at the hardware store, which I use it for every now and then. If I've forgotten how big a nut is, I'll get my wife to ring up and measure, saying how wide it is, and then I'll use this to confirm in store, so make sure I'm getting the right things, which is cool. Now back to the main tool set. First thing I'm going to pull out is the straight blade, which is a good straight blade. Didn't come super sharp, didn't come as scary sharp as my Juice or as my my Skeletal, but it'll cut paracord, I'm sure. Wow. Yeah, very easily. Geez, I tell you what, to get this paracord off the reel with a Stanley knife, it just made a complete mess of it, so it's obviously better than a Stanley knife for what you're going to be using it for, which is standard utility stuff. Good knife. Then you clump out the rest of the tools. That's on a separate washer, so it doesn't clump out when you pull these out. I'm completely cool with clumping tools. I like to be able to fiddle with them and play with them, and I tell you what, I just open and shut my Leathermans for hours and hours because I really like handling them. So there's your file. It's got a flat mill side and a bastard crisscrossy side, I guess for wood and for metal, but whatever. You could use the edge for cutting things as well, I suppose. I cut a nail with one, works fine. You've got an awl, which is a good awl. It's got a nice sharp blade on it, a really nice sharp tip and a sewing eye, which is cool. a large and a medium-sized screwdrivers, and a lanyard hole, but I wouldn't put a lanyard on a multi-tool this size. Screwdrivers are precisely ground and fit in really snugly to the screws. Good side of tools there. Moving on, we've got the serrated blade, which I have no use for in this tool, to be honest. I would have preferred they'd put perhaps the scissors rather than the serrated blade. Rescue blades like this are good for the tools, perhaps like the Wave, ones that are more likely to be carried by people at work who might need to use rescue functions. I guess you could use it to cut bread or something if you were camping, but haven't found a use for it yet, so there you go. And pull out the rest of the clumping tools, led by the Phillips driver, and you've got a good can opener with a wire stripper in the bottom, and a bottle opener too, I suppose. It does make a bit of a mess of the lids though of the bottles. That's fine though, no biggie. Your really good, nice, long, three-dimensional Phillips driver. Very good. Gets into like kids' toys, which always seem to have recessed screws, because I guess kids eat the screws because kids are geniuses like that. So that's a really good screwdriver. I think it's a number two size. Yeah, it's got a bit of a blunt point there. I think it's a number 2 Phillips. And then you've got your small flat, which is good for, yeah, I've only really come across a few under a water super soaker to repair a rubber seal, which had a small flathead screwdriver. That's that one. And then last tool is the saw. I like having a saw on my multi-tool. I tend to saw a lot of things. Just as I'm walking around my yard, little branches will be budding out of the wrong places on trees. I like to keep my trees sculpted. I'll just whack them with this saw for a little bit and fix them right up. It's been pretty cool. But yeah, primarily I get this tool for the pliers. The pliers are great. So yeah, the only problems if you call it a problem, it's missing scissors and it has a serrated blade that you don't really use. But you know what? It's worse problems to be had, and it's a problem we can be easily rectified. I'll tell you about that in a minute. The best part's the plier head and the big, nice, robust tools. And in my mind, I'm not bothered about outside opening either. Doesn't trouble me. One hand opening, not fussed on a tool of this nature. Your alternatives are the Swiss tool, the Gerber Legend multiplier perhaps, which is sort of the Victorinox and the Gerber big heavy multi-tool. There's Leatherman Crunch, which has locking pliers, and then there's the Leatherman Surge as well, which is basically like a giant Wave, which has the outside opening stuff, but that thing is heavy. It's about another 100 grams on this almost, really big tool. And they haven't yet, but they are adding this head to the Surge. When they do that, the Surge will be pretty cool actually, but right now, this has got the better plier head, which I think is probably what you're after if you're getting a big Leatherman like this. It comes with this sheath when I got it, which is a good sheath. It's leather on the top, and then it's got nylon front pocket, and then a little nylon side pocket with a nice bit of stretch to it. Tool fits snugly in there. And I have been remedying my scissor problem with, the Leatherman Micra. So I will rock this sheath with these two tools in it, and I'll be set for my heavy duty needs and my personal grooming and scissor needs. How cool is that? Leatherman Super Tool and Leatherman Micra combination. The Micra will cost you $20, the Super Tool $80, $100 gets you a lot of tool. Fantastic. Gold Star Leatherman. See you next video. Thank you.